All right, today we're going to dig into an online article that has a pretty radical take on chronic kidney disease. It's a story told through the eyes of one man, Christopher Kenneth, who went from a really grim diagnosis to what he describes as a total transformation. Now, it is absolutely crucial to remember that what we're doing here is deconstructing the argument from this one article. This is not medical advice, so please always talk to a healthcare professional about any of your health concerns. Okay, with that said, let's break this down.
So the article kicks off with this really powerful statement. It's designed to grab you right away. It frames chronic kidney disease, or CKD, not as this thing you just have to accept, but as something that could be challenged. This really sets the stage for a story of hope, set against a backdrop of some serious fear.
So let's start right where the narrator's story does, the moment he gets that diagnosis. The article paints this picture of just shock and despair. It makes CKD sound like a one-way street to a shorter, much more difficult life. And this initial crisis, this is the foundation for the entire story that's about to unfold.
So this is the picture that was painted for him. This is what he thought he was facing. Progressive disease that's only going to get worse. It leads to dialysis, then you're just hoping for a kidney donor, and all the while it's shortening your life. This was the bleak future he was basically told to just accept.
And the article kind of lays this out as a slippery slope through 5 different stages. And it points out that most people, just like the narrator, get diagnosed at stage 3, so you're already pretty far down the path. And the final stop? Stage 5. That means kidney failure, being on dialysis, and needing a transplant. This really shows you how high the stakes were for him.
And right here, this is where the story takes a huge turn. Just when the narrator feels like he's totally out of options, a conversation with a doctor friend opens up a completely different way of looking at his condition. This is the big shift from just describing the problem to searching for a very, very different kind of solution.
So, the article first explains the way things are usually done. It says that doctors typically don't treat CKD itself. What they do is they manage the other conditions that are known to cause it. Things like high blood pressure or diabetes. And this is a really important distinction that the article is about to blow wide open.
And this is the big question the whole argument hangs on. What if, instead of chasing after separate diseases like diabetes or heart disease, what if you could find one single common root cause for all of them? The article suggests that this isn't just a what if, it's the key to the whole thing. So what's the big idea? Well, the source claims the common link is chronic low-level inflammation. And this inflammation, it argues, is being triggered by an immune system that's just gone haywire. It's overactive, it's malfunctioning, and it's creating damage all over the body that eventually shows up as one of these major diseases. Okay, so that's the next logical question, right? If a faulty immune system is causing all this inflammation, and that inflammation is causing disease, then what's making the immune system mess up to begin with? The article presents this as the ultimate mystery that's only recently been solved.
And the answer, according to the author, the big reveal, it all starts in the gut. The article argues that the health of our intestinal tract is the main driver of our immune system and, well, by extension, our entire health.
So to really get this, we have to talk about something called the microbiome. The article explains it as this super complex little world inside your gut, filled with trillions of bacteria. And it makes a point to say these aren't scary germs. Nope, most of them are absolutely essential. They do vital jobs our bodies just can't do on their own, from managing our mood to our weight to getting nutrients from our food.
Okay, so let's put all these pieces together. The source lays out this really clear step-by-step model that explains how, in its view, bad gut health can eventually lead to a really serious diagnosis like chronic kidney disease.
Think of it like a chain of dominoes, right? The first domino is poor gut health. That falls and knocks over the next one, a malfunctioning immune system. That, in turn, causes widespread inflammation, which then leads to chronic diseases like diabetes or high blood pressure, which are the things that directly lead to chronic kidney disease. It's presented as this really clear, straight line.
So what's pushing over that first domino? The source points the finger right back at us. It's our modern lifestyle. It argues that stuff like chronic stress, not getting enough sleep, not moving our bodies, and especially our diet, that's what's damaging our gut health and setting this whole destructive pathway in motion.
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the fix? Well, the article introduces a program called the Chronic Kidney Disease Solution, which was created by a natural health practitioner named Shelly Manning. And it's designed to walk that pathway backward. The program is all laid out in 3 distinct phases.
And the idea here isn't just to manage things, but to actively protect the kidneys from more damage, then restore their function, and finally actually repair and renew the kidney tissue itself. It's presented as a really systematic plan to get back to being healthy.
Let's break that down a little more. Phase 1 is all about damage control, stopping any more harm and starting to work on gut health. Then, Phase 2 is about going deeper, getting blood sugar stable and really improving kidney function. And then Phase 3, this is the final step, claims to use very specific foods and supplements to actually generate new stem cells to repair the kidneys.
And that brings us right back around to where we started, the narrator's personal story. The end of the article revisits his journey to show what life is like after following this solution, and it paints a picture of a total health turnaround.
And the results, he claims? They're pretty incredible. According to the article, he doesn't have any CKD symptoms anymore. His blood pressure and blood sugar are normal. He's lost weight, he has tons of energy, and he's sleeping great. This is the after picture, and it's a world away from the grim outlook he started with.
And I think this final quote really sums up the whole philosophy here. The narrator says that his recovery wasn't some kind of miracle. It was just cause and effect. By fixing the root cause, his lifestyle and gut health, he claims his body just naturally healed itself. So we're left with this one big, provocative question. The entire argument we just walked through boils down to this single idea, that our gut microbiome might just be the master key to understanding and maybe even reversing a whole lot of chronic diseases. It's a really compelling thought. And just one final time, remember, this is all the perspective from one particular source. This is not medical advice. Please always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health plan.